Hi. Hi, everyone. Here in Intention Bead Land. Welcome. We're doing another trunk show here. It's super easy for us to do in our own sanctuary, wearing slippers and nice warm clothes. How's everybody tonight? We like hump day to do some things. We do some of our webinars on Wednesdays, and of course we're doing this trunk show that we're doing every couple months on Wednesday. Wednesday is Mercury's day, and if you don't know, you'll know soon. Mercury's going into Gatorade. There's two in like a week. I read something about Mercury and Gatorade, and then there was a song I was listening to where it says Mercury's in Gatorade, and I thought this is the new millennial way to say Mercury's retrograde. I think it's funny. I think it's cute. So welcome in. This is the sanctuary where I do all my work. Where we have all the talismans, and there's been a bevy of talismans that I have been making. The magical talismanic energy has been strong. We're going to see several different things. Several of you have asked for particular pieces, so I've got those queued and ready to go. So I'm up for any questions if you should have them. But before we start, I wanted to mention that a while back, Alex created a talisman quiz, and she spent a lot of time and tracked it and tested it, and it's available on the website. It's something for you to play around with, meaning that you'll follow the prompts and answer some questions that will bring you to a matching talisman. So it will give you maybe a grouping of 2 or 3 talismans that would meet your specific themes that you're working on, that you're wanting to work on. So try that out sometime. I think that's a really cool tool that sometimes we don't know what to look for in a talisman, which is one reason why we are here live, so that I can show you some of the charts and some of the finished, of course, they're all finished products, that you can listen to, understand. We're going to see a variety of different talismans today. Of course, we've got Jupiter exalted in Cancer. Now, Jupiter will be retrograding here shortly, and so probably won't be doing many Jupiter retrograde in Cancer talismans. We try not to get in magical auspicious times. We're not really trying to get the planet retrograde while we're trying to bring its auspicious nature to light into our life. So the Jupiter going retrograde here in about a week. I won't be doing very many of those for the next 4 or 5 months. But then come spring, I'll be making them, because the Jupiter went into exaltation placement in June, early June of this year, 2025, and stays there till late June of 2026. So Jupiter is staying a little bit over 1 year in the zodiac sign. Zeus, Jupiter, usually moves through one sign in a 1 year period. So sometimes it's shorter than a year, and sometimes it's longer than a year. And so lucky for us that we have him moving through his exaltation placement for a month longer than the usual year. So that's nice. I'm going to show you some of those. We've got one Sun in Leo. I have one of those available. We'll talk about Sun in Leo. This is where the Sun is in rulership in the domicile section of being confident and proud and very Leonian. We have, Venus is still in Libra, and so this is one of her domicile. So I've done a lot of those for her coming up over the horizon. And if you've been watching her, she is a morning star, although shortly in a couple months she's going to be an evening star. However, she's a morning star, which means like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm waking up making beads for Venus coming up over the horizon in her own sign of Libra. I do have one with Venus in the sign, her other sign, Taurus. So I have one of those. We got Mars in Scorpio. That's the first one we're going to move into, is Mars and Scorpio has to get out there first. We have Mercury and Gemini that I want to show, and a couple of the fixed stars. I'm a big fixed star talisman maker, of course, using the ones that are effective and efficient for our use here on the Earth plane. So don't forget your raffle tickets. They're still available all the way till the end, till we roll the raffle dial on who wins. It is a one each ticket, and you can buy multiples, which I've seen some of you do. One ticket is $10, and you get that same $10 as a gift certificate, whether you win or not. So it's really just, we're kind of holding your money, if you would say, until you go to use it. So you're not losing it. That's always beneficial. We do like win-win. I'm a Jupiter rising chart, and so I always like win-win solutions. And so that's one of them. So you can go, you go to that little code right there and click it in your phone. It's so funny. My mom even knows how to do this now with her phone. So I'm pretty impressed for that 93 and a half. So let's go. Let's get into, I want to show you this first one. And don't forget that we have in the last, say, 3 or 4 years, added this little silver, the little silver tag, which is sterling silver. And they each have a number on it, which coincides with the card. And it also, on the other side, has the glyphs of the prominent planets that I was using during this time. So we're going to start the Talisman trunk show with Mars, who doesn't like to wait. So we're going to start with this. I think someone wanted to see this one. Mars is the red planet. That is why there is made with red clay, red patterns. Also, in the inside of the pattern, we have to use a core bead. That's also red. The candle was red. The incense had that Mars energy. So this one is to move through life with fearless intention. This was made on November 3rd. I'll get to the chart in a minute. I am fierce yet composed, bold yet wise, and a warrior of light cloaked in mystery. I inspire change and embody the power of rebirth. Well, why is that? Because we have Mars in Scorpio at the very last degree, 29, so that we know that there's a change afoot. There's a change. We go from 29 to a 0, so that this is kind of the ending of something. Something is about to begin. And so Mars is the ruler of the chart. We've got a 25-degree rising sign of Scorpio. What rules Scorpio? Mars. So Mars is coming up over the horizon. So this is that effective action, initiative steps, but in a fixed sign. Water fixed can be really deep emotional transformation. And so with the with the power of rebirth as one of the key words in the affirmation card. I am fierce yet composed. I love this. Bold yet wise, and a warrior of light cloaked in mystery, right? Scorpio, mysterious. May be holding some things, some of your power close to your heart and not speaking and boasting about what it is you hold as far as your movement of fearless intention. So this is number 1857. I don't know if you need to know that, but of course, all my life, all my life since I've been making talismans, I've numbered them so that I can identify the exact piece that some people will call and say, I've lost the card or I need a reprint, and I would know exactly what number and what that represents in behind the scenes in my books, in my book. So this is a Mars in Scorpio talisman, very strong, but powerful, yet kind of quiet. All right, what are we going to get up here next? So this is, and that was a small bead. That was a small bead. And I don't necessarily have a particular reason why I'm making a small bead versus I'm making a large bead. This is a large bead. And this has the Swarovski crystals on it. You can see that they're orange. So can you see that good enough? So you can kind of see they're orange here. So this has purple and some like red or the orange in it. And this one is a Jupiter in exaltation of Cancer. I'll show you the chart in a minute. To honor the balance of what I hold and what I share. What I hold and what I share. I share my gifts with grace, knowing that love and prosperity return to me in perfect measure. I am both the keeper and the giver of beauty. So we can already hear the Libra balance here. So as we go here, can I get that in? We see that the moon in Capricorn is making a really nice aspect to Venus in balance in Libra in the 11th house. Now we know in astrology, and if you don't, I'm here to say, we've got 12 houses, right? We see them all the way from 1, and you go around the horoscope to 12 right there. And the idea of the house structure, what was I about to say? How there some houses here are more prominent than others, they're more important than others. All the angle houses, which is 1, 4, 7, and 10, because they're the opposites. They're opposites. This is me, this is them, this is personal, private, this is public. And so the 4 angles are super important to be exposed or exalted. So we think first house is the first house is the house of self. So of course we can say that's the number 1 house. It's the number 1 house. The next best is the angle house of the 10th, which is the career. It's the public image. It's the visibility. It's where everybody can see. They may not know you, but they know who you are or what you do. That's the 10th house. And the third best placement is the 11th house. The 11th house is your groups, your groups, your friends, your clubs, those classes you might be taking, those groups of people that come together. 11th house is also aspiration. So you find like-minded people that want similar things. So this moon is making this really beautiful connection, and it's a square because the square speaks about having the balance, having a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And again, it's I share my gifts with grace, knowing that love and prosperity return to me in perfect measure. Right? You don't overgive, you don't overtake. I am both the keeper, and the giver of beauty. And so I really like this one. I like the way the musical, it's almost like a rhythm tempo, just to say this to yourself. And if this one speaks to you and you get to say this every day to yourself before wearing your intention bracelet, how wonderful, how beautiful that is. So the fact that we're using the word to honor the balance between what I hold and what I share. I can't give everything away. I have to have it in return to me in perfect order, perfect manner. So again, this is that large bead. It's really, really pretty with the orange. It's a very different looking tone. All right, so that is 1847, if that means anything. I mean, it means something to me. It means something to me. Let's go to another Jupiter. I think someone asked for this. Another Jupiter in Cancer. Exaltation. Remember, that only happens 1 year out of 12. So we won't get this again for 11 more years. And so this has, this is more of a muted tone. It's got an oxidized crystal in it. I kind of like this, kind of a little bit of a bold, dramatic look. This one is to seek harmony, even in the depths of transformation. To seek harmony, even when you're in going through a transformative state. I happened to make this when I was in Agana Island in Greece, and this was I learned to weave depth with play, vulnerability with generosity, and passion with peace. I am free to love fully. So we're seeing the square. We can hear in the intention, the square, that 90-degree angle. Anytime we have, and you know, if you've had your astrology chart done and you might have some squares inside your natal charts, or you're going through a transit that has a square to something in your natal placement, the square can be that a little bit of a frustration. It's a workaround. You have to work through it to get it right. Trines are like super easy. They fall into your lap. Sextiles, which are 60, help you bring opportunity, and you have to initiate what was either given to you or suggested to you. Those are the two easiest of the aspects, the 120 and the 60. But the squares or oppositions and some conjunctions can be difficult. But we can hear the square, meaning I learn to weave depth with play. Can't always be super deep, can't always be playful. So now I have to merge them. Vulnerability with generosity, right? How, again, we can hear I got to do this and that. That's the square. And then passion with peace. How, again, two things, you're either passionate, and could be passion, could be anger or intensity. And peace is not that. Peace is ease and flow. So this is the square. Let's get to the chart. And this is, I'm in Agana Island, Greece here, and the moon is in Libra, which is that, again, we want that fairness, we want that balance, we want that understandability between me and you. and is also making the square to Jupiter with reception. What I mean with reception is Jupiter is in Cancer, where he's exalted, but the moon rules Cancer. So how we say that is Jupiter is, or excuse me, moon is welcoming Jupiter into his domicile. So there's a ease about this square that's a bit easier because Jupiter understands the moon and the moon understands Jupiter. So to seek harmony, even in the depths of transformation. So let's bring that transformation as eighth house. Eighth house is not one of the easiest houses to have planets in. Interesting that I have my Sun and my Mercury in the eighth house, which is why I can do this. But of course, I didn't know that for majority of my life, that I'm able to understand that depths of transformation and be a talisman maker, being the kind of the magician, if you will, creating an alchemy. So eighth house, we don't play around with eighth house. This is a transformative talisman, which they all are, but this one is about the Libra, the seeking of balance, of harmony. Okay, so let's take this away. This one is 1839. Let's get into, I remember picking these colors for this one, and it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites in coloration. Let's see if I can get that. Because it's some bold, like almost fluorescent yellow, green, this pink. It's very, very colorful. Do I need to pick this up a little bit so you can see? Yeah. Again, this is a large B with what they call aurora borealis crystals. Aurora borealis means the crystals have that rainbow. Aurora borealis, it's the multicolors of prism, like a prism like. This is to rise radiant and rooted. To rise radiant and rooted. So this is a fixed star. So on July 2nd at 2:31 a.m., when Venus was coming up over the horizon in Taurus with the fixed star Algol. My worth is sovereign, my power reclaimed. In each breath, I bloom with aliveness. So this is Algol. So let's go and look. Algol is a very strong planet. We might know Medusa. Medusa is Perseus needed to cut the head off of Medusa so that the king wouldn't marry his mother. And he had to get his assistance so that he could get the shield to have Medusa look at herself instead of him, because he would turn to stone, right? So that is the whole Algol with her snakes coming out of her head. And then she gets it chopped off and has to put it into a metal mesh bag and fly over using Mercury's sandals with the wings on it and his hat, his helmet with wings on it. So he was getting help from the other planets in the myths of Perseus and Medusa. Anyway, this is the eye. This is the eye of Medusa. And, we talk about focused, intense passion is this, because it's a female, it's a feminine. It sits right at about 26 degrees of Taurus, and Venus is coming up just at 27. So Algol is right on the ascendant, that fixed star, and we can see Algol in the night chart, or in the night sky. You can see it better with your telescope. So here's Venus coming up over that with Algol. And so, it is the Kundalini energy of bringing some passionate energy from the depths of your spine. It talks about potential power of Mother Nature, just that Kundalini energy of creation, of power, creating up. So, and I like that. My worth is sovereign, my power reclaimed, and with each breath, I bloom with aliveness. Algol is a great protective star. So we have that protection. Okay. So and this one is 1798. Oops. Okay. Let's go over to another fixed star. And this is a small bead. It's a lot of purples with some browns. This one is Sirius. Yeah, being serious. Yeah. So Sirius is the big dog. Sirius is the brightest star in the sky, fixed star in the sky. Remember, the planets are the wandering stars, and they've been retitled planets probably during the Egyptian times. In fact, the Egyptians called this the guard. This was what we would refer to, those who've been to Egypt, Anubis. He's in mythology, and in Greek mythology, he is the greater dog of the hunter or Orion. And so this one is about the intention for this one: to magnetize trust, love, and loyalty through my public presence. So we already know public presence must be the midheaven, the high up the zenith. So it must be that. And it is. My influence uplifts humanity while my voice carries celestial wisdom. I shine as a beacon in the public eye. So let's go look at the chart. So this is really about getting support, getting help. There we go, right there. Improving relationships. There's a helpfulness and strong relationship here. So Sirius sits at 14 degrees of Cancer. There's the 14 Cancer right on the midheaven, and Jupiter is right alongside there with Venus. So these are the two benefics right here at the top with Sirius. So that's rare. I mean, when Jupiter swings into this position once every 12 years, and just as a side note, when Jupiter starts retrograding at 25 degrees of Cancer, where he is right now, he is slowing down at 25 to slowly retrograde at 25 Cancer. Goes all the way back to 15 Cancer. He doesn't get to 14. Not for another 12 years. And then starts rotating forward again as he turns direct. So we can't get this one for another 12 years. But we also have to make sure that Jupiter is exactly at or nearby within a couple degrees of the 14 Cancer on an angle. And we choose the rising sign or the midheaven angle. So the fact that this and this matched, sometimes you would get a 14 here and Jupiter would be over here in 20. Right? So they don't always match up, but they have to match up for talismanic energy. But we happen to have Venus here. So the two are sitting with Sirius. So come on, this is, my influence uplifts humanity while my voice carries celestial wisdom. In other words, I have something to say. It's the quest for immortality. One of my favorite books, and I often share my favorite books, This is an absolute must, in my opinion. Somebody just recently asked me what books. It says it's the Star and Planet Combination by Bernadette Brady. You can see it's a reference book. I bet all astrologers have this. And it's great for even non-astrologers. It tells you where these planets are and what they deliver. And not all of these are super great, which you won't see in my talismanic energy or anyone's probably, hopefully. So again, this is both benefics sitting on the star Sirius. I mean, do you know about this star? You know about Mersum. Mersum is the big dog. It's the paw. And Sirius is part of that in Mersum. And it was said that it's man's best friend. It's man's first pet. And what I love about this is the myth of carrying your bride over the threshold. That's the old tradition. Although I think it's still cool. I love tradition. That the feeling was that after a dog passed away, the owner would bury it near the front door, so that the dog was still protecting the owners of the house, the people inside, and the house, and the threshold. And so the idea was that if I carry my bride over my loved one who you may not know or who doesn't live here yet, and I carry it over the threshold, the dog knows that this is a loyal member of a new member of a family. So again, that's why that we talk about to magnetize trust, love, and loyalty through public presence. Public presence is because it's in the 10th house, right on the midheaven. My influence uplifts humanity, while my voice carries celestial wisdom. I shine. These are the two. This is bright. Talk about shine. This is in the daytime. This was made at 10:23 a.m. So we see the sun. The sun is up here already, but this was, you couldn't see it in the daytime, but this would have been super bright if this were in the nighttime. So that is the Jupiter and Venus on Sirius. Let's go to something that's I made this summer. So this one is another small bead. It's got two pink crystals, two pink Swarovskis right on either side of the gratitude bead, to strengthen my foundation of love and beauty. I am grounded in my self-worth and my own stability. I exude grace and confidence, knowing my heart is truly aligned with the rhythm of love and harmony. So let's go to this one. This is a new moon. And the new moon, let's get this up a little bit so you can see. This is the sun in Cancer with Jupiter in Cancer exalted. And the moon has just crossed, so we know it's a new moon. The moon is also in the sign that the moon rules, loves to be here with the exaltation, so they're co-present. But what the moon is doing here is making a beautiful sextile to Venus in Taurus coming up over the horizon. So this is double of a strong Jupiter, a strong moon, and a strong Venus. So really to strengthen my foundation of love and beauty. It's because it's the foundation, meaning it's in Taurus. It's grounded. It has worthy. It's like set. I'm grounded in my self-worth and my own stability. I exude grace and confidence, knowing that my heart is truly aligned with the rhythm of love and harmony. Yeah. Yeah. And this one is like pinks and blues. It's a really cool color combination. And like I said, if I'm not using the color of the planet on the outside of the bead, it's in the inside. I use it on the inside because the planets prefer a color. All right, let's go see this one. Again, this one is another Venus in Taurus. I personally have Venus in Taurus, and that's kind of where I like Venus, although Venus also rules Libra, where she is currently, which is why I've been making a lot of pieces. All right, let's go to this. To dance freely with the unexpected. Oh, unexpected. We can almost hear the Uranus in here, right? Unexpected. My uniqueness, well, there's Uranus right there. My uniqueness honors and invites rare beauty, surprising grace, and divine spark. I unfold beautifully. I mean, this one has given me a little bit of heat, of something hot right here. Again, these are the Aurora Borealis crystals. If you can see those colors. Yeah, this is a stunning one. Let's go to the chart. This was made on July 1st at 1:55 a.m. Hey, yeah, not all the time is it, convenient for us humans. Just like having a baby. Sometimes things are happening 24/7. Let's see. Let's go to this. We're using whole signs here. You might see it different. This is the ascendant. So coming up over the ascendant is Venus in Taurus with Uranus. So we heard the combination of Venus-Uranus. So if you're tuned into the astrology, you're going to hear freely. These are Uranus words. Unexpected, unique, rare, surprising, divine spark. And maybe it's the spark. So in order to honor or represent the planets properly, the wording must reflect them. For using their energy, the words that we repeat, that I put in about 100 times, I repeated this while I'm making these beads, holds a respect for the planets. And I'm feeling choked up right now when I say that, because I do. I love the planets. And I know they love me just like they love you. So let's go here. So the moon is over here. Whoops, no, you can't see that. The moon is in the 5th house and is in an earth sign, making an trine to Earth Venus, ruler of the chart. So this is the time when Venus was meeting up with Uranus, and Uranus is here in Taurus, which he has been for 7 years. He just made his way into Gemini a couple months ago. He is moving backwards already, and he's moving back into the same position here to 29. He's going to go to 28. He's going to go to 27 and move forward again. And then next spring, not to come back to the Taurus ever again. So this is the ruler of the Uranus is with him in her own sign. So talk about to dance freely with the unexpected. Who of us dances freely when something unexpected happens, right? Maybe we do, I don't know, a different kind of dance. But this is knowing that something has changed, something is changing. something is going on. Something, it's because it's toward the latter part of the degrees of the chart, or the degrees of that sign. So this is 1801, made on July 1st. You might find that, well, you're not going to get your birthday year, but you might get your birthday day, month and day. If that's the case and you find a synchronicity to your birthday and you had an amazing birthday, that might be a sign that you're going to have an amazing year. This energy is flowing with you. Why not double down or double up and get the talisman so it can move with you? So I often find that somebody recently made a purchase, and out of all the ones I had on my table, she's like, this one's speaking to me. It feels like mine. And she opened it up and it was her birthday. So those are special moments. Okay. Let's go to, and there's another fixed star. I don't have any lunar mansions right now. They're all gone. They're all sold. This is a green with some beige in it. This is to honor my soul's mission. And wow, we just finished a retreat on our current soul's mission and our past life soul's mission. And so this is a good one. But you didn't have to be there to honor your soul's mission. This was made on August 15th. So this is a Leo. But this is, I rise in divine alignment. I heal, nurture, and create while embodying feminine power in the public sphere. So public sphere, we're already hearing, oh, it's probably a midheaven. This was probably when Venus was on the midheaven. And we go and look. Yep. Here we got, this was very similar to that one I showed earlier tonight, with Jupiter on Sirius, and Venus is now just a little bit further on. Remember, Venus was at 15, so this is a couple days later. This was made. Now the moon is in Taurus here. The moon is in Taurus at 15, and there's something called enclosure. Not easy to find, but when you can get it, I get it. But there has to be a lot of other cues in place. So this was one cue, Sirius at the midheaven with Jupiter. Oh, and we got the extra Venus there, the two benefics. But when we put the moon here at 15, it means that the moon is enclosed by the two benefics. So we've got the 14 Jupiter, the 15 moon, and the 18 Venus. So there are no other planets that would have come in between the 14 and the 18 in a Ptolemaic aspect. Ptolemaic aspect, conjunction, sextile, square, trine, opposition, back to trine, back to square, back to sextile, and then a conjunction again. That's all of the circle of Ptolemaic aspects. And those are the only ones I use. Like, that's enough. And so here we have the moon is enclosed in the moon's exaltation placement. So we have Jupiter in exaltation with Sirius, the moon in exaltation being enclosed by the two benefics. Okay, I rise in divine alignment. I am moving. Here's Venus, here's Jupiter. I am moving with. And there's actual mutual reception. So there's a lot of pieces here that this one is super special. Mutual reception, you heard me use the word reception. That's just one. Mutual means they're in each other's signs. Let's go. Moon is in Taurus. What rules Taurus? Venus. Venus is where? Cancer, ruled by what? Moon. Mutual reception. They're in each other's signs. All right. I heal, nurture, and create. Venus is creation. Create while embodying feminine power in the public sphere. Yeah. This one is 1815. And let's see. This is a bright one. I bet you think this is a, let's see. Don't forget your raffle tickets, folks. We are still taking raffle tickets. You can see the little up in the corner. Take a picture of that. You have a few more minutes to buy for a free talisman of your choice. Any of these that I have spoken about, or any that I haven't, and there's lots of those too. We see yellow. We see yellow. Do you see yellow? A lot of yellow. So we can think, and actually I put the sun on there. Can you see a picture of the sunshine? The little sunshine face. This is Sun in Leo. This is to be radiant force in the world. Made on August 15th. I claim my place. I walk with purpose. I am guided by my inner fire. I am a light. Ooh, that's a lot of statements there, a lot of claiming statements, which, you know, it's the sun. It's the sun. This is our radiant sun. We can't live without the heat of the sun. So we have Leo rising. This is the tail. I'm a Leo rising, which is why I got hair, big hair. Sun is at 22 Leo, coming up over the horizon. So we've got moon at the top. Again, this looks like it was shortly after the one I just showed you, because we got the moon in Taurus at the midheaven, making that beautiful sextile to Jupiter and Venus in the 11th house. So we like 11th house, we like 10th house, and we like first house. This is all the great three houses all working in alignment together. I want to point out something, because if I just recently, the one I showed you earlier, we had Jupiter up here, right? We had Jupiter up at the midheaven, because Jupiter's at 14. You'd say, oh, isn't Jupiter at Sirius? We'd say, yes, he is, but we can't do a magical ritual until Jupiter meets up with Sirius on an angle. And that doesn't always occur. So we got it this year. And it happens to be with Venus. Of course, I haven't been making talismans only for 15 or 16 years, 15 years now, a little over 15 years. And I did not get that last time. So let's see how much longer I'll be making talismans, and if I'll be able to get that in 12 years from now. Maybe not. I'm not looking that far ahead. So that's this one. I claim my place. I walk with purpose. I am guided by my inner fire. I am a light. Yeah. It's kind of heating up the day. That's why Leo season is very hot. It's August. It's heat. The sun brings the heat. Okay, how are we doing on time? Get your tickets in. Okay, let's do this one. Orange. This was an orange situation with orange crystals. To flow with optimism and hold on, I read that wrong. To flow with optimism and possibility wherever I go. Right, this is kind of having a nice confident feeling. I attract experiences that reflect my higher truth and inspire joy in others. I share my light freely with the world. So let's go here. What do we see here? Oh, so this looks like it was a new moon in Libra, late Libra. So here we have the ascendant is 8 degrees of Libra. Venus is at 13. This is a 5-degree rule. I stick to the 5-degree rule to an angle. The moon is in Sagittarius, making a beautiful aspect to the ascendant and to Venus. That's the next placement. That's the next aspect. We always have to look at the moons. What is the moon aspecting next? Because that is what is anticipation. That is what is occurring. That is what is applying to, if we use that word. So if you can see that right there. Yeah. This was made on October 24th. So not too long ago, because Venus is in Libra. And she still is, just for a little bit longer. Okay. Let's get to this one. This has lots of purples in it. To honor both my analytical mind and my boundless spirit. This was made on June 3rd. My voice carries weight, and my intellect shines in my career. I adapt, communicate, and lead with curiosity and confidence. I am destined to thrive. Well, we can hear two things. Analytical mind. We can hear Mercury, right? Mercury is the mind. We can hear the boundless spirit, which is Jupiter. So let's look at the chart. And just as we said, this is before Jupiter went into exaltation, when Jupiter is in Gemini here. So here we have the moon. The moon is rising up over the horizon in Virgo. The rising sign is Virgo. So what does that make the chart ruler? What rules Virgo? Mercury. Mercury is in his own sign of also. He's a two-sign ruler in Gemini, making a conjunction, the next conjunction with Jupiter. So this is the analytical mind. This is the boundless spirit. And it is also the ruler of the sun, the midheaven. So this is why it's my voice carries weight, voice, Mercury, weight, Jupiter, and my intellect shines, intellect, Jupiter shines, the sun in my career, 10th house. I adapt. I'm versatile. I'm Gemini. I can go. I'm mutable. I'm either way. I adapt. I communicate, Mercury, and lead with curiosity and confidence. Curiosity is Mercury in Gemini, and confidence is the Jupiter. I am destined to thrive. Jupiter wants growth. So this one is 1790, yada, yada, yada. And it's really pretty purple. What rules purple? Jupiter. Do we have time for one more? Keep going. All right, let's go to this one. This one is very cool color. Oops. Okay. That's very interesting. To open doors for wealth and personal advancement. June 26th at 5:37 a.m. I welcome prosperity in all forms, abundant resources, meaningful connections, and flourishing opportunities. They are mine to claim. Check this out. This is a new moon. But it's more than a new moon. Let me get my pointer. Here we have the moon in Cancer, just rising up over the horizon with the sun in Cancer. So this is just about the day before was the new moon, and we had it with when we had it with Jupiter. So Jupiter and the sun and the moon, and then here's Mercury. It's finishing up the last degree, but I wasn't going after that. The moon is making a beautiful aspect to Venus in the 11th house in Taurus. So we can hear to open doors for wealth. That's Jupiter. That's Jupiter's position and personal advancement. The moon and the sun actually in starting something new moon, initiating. I welcome prosperity in all forms, right? Jupiter wants to give it many opportunities for prosperity, abundant resources, meaningful connections, the Venus in the 11th house of friends, and flourishing opportunities, Jupiter giving its all. They are all mine to claim. It's the wearer of the talisman that represents the ascendant in this chart, kind of like a horary chart. The questionnaire, the querent, is always the first house. So the wearer of a talisman is always the first house. That's 1787. So I have 2 more to go. Can I do them all? Oh, okay. Let's go to this one. Again, I was favoring orange for some reason. To rise with purpose. September 7th. This is somewhat recent. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's going to be my new old hometown soon. I trust my thoughts, my words, and my vision to open doors and align me with my highest calling. This is Virgo. What planet rules Virgo? Mercury is in Virgo with the sun. And we don't call this combust. We call this in the chariot, because Mercury is the kind of owner of the home, and he has invited the king. So this is called the chariot. The moon is way over here in Pisces, making a really nice aspect in mutual reception to Venus in the 11th house. Again, we're talking about an angle here to the 11th house. Again, this is first house, 11th house, angle house 7. So I trust my thoughts, my words, and my vision to open doors and align me with my highest calling. So this is to rise every morning, to rise with purpose, whether it's in the morning or you have to go in and do a meeting, or you have to find a reason to really connect with something that you have to do. This is a good one. This is a good one. So that is to rise with purpose. We're almost to the end. We're going to do one more before we announce the winner. Ding, ding, ding. So let's just do one more. This is an interesting color one. First of all, I love all my colors. I love all my pieces. This has got black. It's black and purple. To trust in the rhythm and revelations. Made this at August 19th. As transformation is a sacred journey, I am guided by love and protected by grace. These are my greatest strengths. So I already hear, first of all, transformation. What about 8th house maybe? Pluto? Sacred journey. Oh, this is why. Because what's rising over the horizon is 0 degrees of Sagittarius. What rules Sagittarius? Jupiter. Jupiter's exalted, and he's at his exaltation placement. Okay. See the 15? Jupiter is exalted at 15 degrees of Cancer. Now, let's widen that. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Let's narrow that and say there's 1 degree there that holds the exaltation degree, and it's 15. I'll be able to get this again when Jupiter goes all the way back to 15, his exaltation degree. I'll be able to, as he's stationing direct, I'll go grab some more of these. I haven't looked at that, but that's not until March. And that's so March. It's actually beginning of March because I'm excited to know that my birthday I'll get the Jupiter coming out of retrograde. Anyway, so Moon is making a connection to Jupiter and then moves on to Venus. This is 8th house, so we can already know transformation is a sacred journey. I'm guided by love and protected by grace. These are my greatest strengths. These are hugely strengthful. These are we often call the moon a benefic when the moon is in a good, happy sign, which the moon is here. So yeah, this is a small bead, and this is that transformational of rhythms and revelations. It's like, what? I didn't recognize that. To have something revealed to you is a really cool situation. All right, we are at our time. We're a little over, but we're willing to, spin the dial and find out who is the winner of any talisman of their choice. So, ding, 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 ding. Let's do the wheel. Here we go. And click. I see it. Alex is on the background over here. Okay, it's not moving yet. Oh. Who is the winner this time? It's not moving. So just, can you do something? We're going to pull a number, pull a name.
Oh.
And
it was Angelica.
Oh, it was Angelica. Oh, Angelica. That was so bizarre.
Wait, right?
Yeah, it showed up with a pointer.
It did. Hold on. Because we need to redo that because it said Angelica, but now it's saying Piper K.
Well, it moved.
One,
okay.
Two. Oh, okay. No, it really was Angelica.
Well, it's I saw it because I was super excited.
It was. And it goes to the next one after that winner is chosen. So, okay.
Okay, Angelica, you're the winner. We won't have to understand all that Alex said because I rarely do. But she doesn't understand me at all either. So congratulations. So you get a talisman of your choice. So I wonder which one it is for you. And how are you doing since the retreat? Anyway, thanks for being here tonight. I always like to be on stage. It's something new for me, even though I was born to do it, to help explain a little astrology. And I'm really enjoy these moments. So thanks for coming, and we'll come back around soon, maybe January, from my new house. We'll see you then. Thank you for joining. Many blessings.